All right, you guys. So we got some bad news here. All right. So this is really sad. And I know it's Monday, and I know you're expecting like this big long episode of Grease and Grace. And
sorry, Candace.
Right.
My sister-in-law is always like, I'm always so sad.
Yeah. So here's what happened. We had a file on the device that we record on, and it corrupted halfway through. And so, unfortunately, that means that 27 minutes of pure bliss that we just walked through is completely gone. And let me tell you what, there were some gems in there that the world will never hear.
I can't replicate it. Nor can Jordan.
So here's what we're going to do. We have 10 minutes, and because Kim's got to go and I've got to go. If this is your first episode, first of all, our apologies. All right. Go back, do a deep dive. We're going to come back next week. We got you. All right. It's all good. Womp, womp, womp. Right. So if this is your first episode, my name is Jordan.
My name is Kim.
All right. And so every week we take a new topic and we dive into the greasy and graceful aspects of life. And sometimes, it's current events and stuff like that. And then sometimes our technology just decides to take a complete...
That's so sad. Because, there were some really golden moments.
There was. And what was happening was I was trying to explain something to Kim, and I was looking down, and I was like, nothing is recording. Like, what are we doing here? So
Jordan and I were just talking, which is fine.
Yeah, which is
but
totally
man,
fine.
You missed it.
So we caught up, and we have this memory that's going to live in our mind. But what we wanted to do is just give you our 10 minutes that we normally do before we get into a topic. So what we're going to do is we're going to shelf our topic.
We are.
And we'll hit that up next week.
Yeah.
And we'll do that. But we wanted to give you a little bit of an update on what happened last week because Kim was super excited. And it's going to feel like weird for us because we're having to rehash some things, and we already talked about it. But last week, Kim was so stinking excited to go on spring break. And here's the other hard part when technology breaks down is we don't want to recreate what we just did.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of summarize this a little bit. Anyway, long story short, you went to Colorado. I went to Florida.
Yes.
My trip was good.
My trip was not.
Your trip was not good.
Well, there's about two different sides to this story.
So here's what I say we do so that we don't have to go back through the whole thing. Yeah. We're going to do a little snippet of a Grease and Grace that extends from the last week, which was spring break.
Yes.
And talk about the Grease and Graceful side of things. And we're just going to spend 5 minutes on each.
Okay.
In regards to what happened for you that was greasy.
Okay.
Now because now we're in hindsight.
I like it.
Right.
We're hindsighting.
So you were super stoked to go on this trip.
I was so excited.
We were fantastic. So now that we've kind of experienced these things, let's look back and give me the grease. And again, you don't have to go back to what we said when the file corrupted, but what was the greasiest side of the trip?
I mean, I think right now we're just in a season of really dealing with disrespect and I don't know, expectations or something not met of our children.
Yeah.
So they they constantly complained through the entire thing. And on top of that, we're just dealing with normal parenting of teaching my kids that you have to respect your parents. You have to when we tell you to stop slapping your brother in his face.
Yeah.
That means you stop, or the plane rides. Lovely Josh got to just enjoy peace and quiet in his seat
because he came back early,
rolls
right?
away.
Oh, no. You guys just had different seats.
The way that I guess.
That's so weird. So they put you next to two kids, and he was on his own little.
Bye, Dad. They're like, Mom, you've been doing this, so you're gonna keep doing it.
You're gonna keep doing it. I would have. You know what I would have done? I would have got up and been like, "We switching." You're
I
up.
almost did. Well, the plane ride up wasn't bad at all. The kids were wonderful. The plane ride back was rough. It was rough. And I had already told Josh, because I could kind of tell Josh's patience versus my patience with the boys are widely different in length of patience. And I didn't want the boys to be arguing with Josh and then escalations happening. So the plane ride was rough, and the hotel was rough. I found a hair, which I already told you that was not my hair, and it was in our shower. The beds were sunken, and our chair and our sofa had so many stains on it that I was like, ooh. So like there was a point where like Owen threw up 3 times on one day, and there was one point on that day where like he was just kind of like laying back on the couch, and the sheet that I had put on the couch to cover it came down, and he put his head back, and I was like, ah! I was like, get your head off of that couch. Like it wasn't like, I was to the point where I was like mad at the couch for touching my child. Right. Like, how dare you ruin my child like that? So just everything about my trip was wrong. Like, there was one graceful part that was day 2.
So you'd say the greasy side of things were vacation and travel.
Yes.
And then just like showing up and having expectations, and then all of a sudden like those expectations aren't met.
Everyone's expectations were just like squandered.
Like we had some of these ideals, and that's spring break like 101, right?
Yeah.
Like you go into the situation and you think this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, but it doesn't happen. That's funny because there was a couple things like on our trip, like I told you earlier, it rains all the time in Florida, and that's just so frustrating because you're like, you wake up and it's wet, and it's like, wait, what? You know, like in my head and in my dreams before I got here, it was 72 with no humidity.
Beautiful.
And I also think that Florida shouldn't have any humidity, and it has a lot.
It's weird how like humid to me it is.
Yeah, it's really hot. There was a couple of times where it was like,
it's surrounded by a lot of water though.
I'm good with 60 right now, especially with this humidity. And I'm thinking, Jordan, what are you talking about? Like, stop talking. Just enjoy this weather. Anyway, yeah. So
yeah.
I get it.
I get that.
But so what you were going to say, the graceful thing?
Yeah, the graceful thing. We had one day where, for the most part, I'm trying to think, everybody was pretty happy for at least the first half of the
kind
day.
Of like a sliver of hope.
Yes, like a little sliver. We went to, have you ever been to the Garden of the Gods?
No, but I've heard about it.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. I've heard about that.
Stunning. And so we went on like a little Jeep tour, and our tour guide, he has little kids, and so like he welcomed us getting out.
Oh,
and
nice.
So like he was talking to us about the rocks the whole time and like how the formations were done, but he was also like engaging our kids, which was really nice because he understood how to talk to them, because he had a 7-year-old and like a couple of other ages. I don't remember.
It is crazy like how you meet people who you're like, oh, like, we're not friends. We're probably never going to see each other ever in this life. But, like, here we are.
You made this good.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't have been as good had it not been for you.
Beach people are like that. There was this guy on the beach, and he was like...
Beach people are wonderful.
They are. There's this guy, like, so his company, get this, he does this for a living. His company is, he brings down chairs, he puts them on the beach, he sets up, like, this little, like, campfire for you to watch the sunset. It's like $300 for a night. We didn't do it.
That's
we watched it. But what was really funny is I sat like right next to it. I pulled up like my own chair. I'm like, bro. Anyway, his name was Jordan, which I thought was hilarious. Nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Like we had this huge conversation. We're talking about people. He left. I thought to myself, I'll never see this man ever again in my life. It's crazy to me. Only on spring break. Only on vacation,
is fun
actually.
In some way, if you can allow your inhibitions, not necessarily inhibitions, but like, for lack of a better word, your inhibitions to just like not stop you from doing something, because you can be whoever you want to be, because you're not going to see any of these people. Like,
and you'll definitely like fall into that too as well, which is weird, because when you're like here, it's kind of like, why aren't you like that all the time? You know what I mean? Like people probably like you more actually. If you would just like let down your guard and stop taking things so seriously. There's a lot of truth to that. But so that's Grace. Like, any other greasy things? I mean, you had a ton, but still.
Greasy things. I could fill up an entire podcast with it, but we lost 27 minutes and we don't have much time left. And so
here's the thing that we talked about though that I think bears repeating, and that is, what's super funny to me is your kids will remember this one.
Yes.
Like, that can be a greasy and a graceful thing, because it's like, we have a couple vacations where the girls are like, that was so fun. And I'm like, that was a disaster. I threw things. I got upset. And they're like, I know, it was crazy.
I was not like a nice mom, but like the boys were like, yeah, we have like everybody that they've talked to are like, oh, they said that they had a really good time. And I'm like, they did?
Yeah.
Are you sure that you're talking to my kids?
So we're at the beach. It's so windy. I mean, it's so windy. We're talking like 40, 50 mile an hour winds. So Bethany has this like little tent because she can't really be out in the sun for like a long time because she used to have skin cancer and stuff like that.
Her adult life happened.
She's definitely been hit with the 40 bug. So I'm trying to set up this tent, and it is like a sail. I mean, it is like just... And Bethany's standing there, and she is laughing her head off. Like, she is having a great time. I'm, on the other hand, like... Stop, help me out. The girls are laughing, all this other stuff. I'm not having a good time. In that moment, like, I look around and I go, Jordan, this is the memory, man. Like, it's like you falling on the ice. I asked one of my students that the other day. I said, are you the type of person that like laughs when people fall on the ice? They're like, oh yeah, so funny.
Yes. I am.
And I'm like, and then you see all these people around you and they're watching you. Nobody's helping.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that must be terrible for you. You're
no. I'm like, did you see yourself?
Thanks for not coming to help me, you know.
You looked like an idiot.
Yeah. Like, man, I'm glad I'm not that guy. And then you get it like back together. You get like everything. And there's like always that one guy, he looks at you and he's like, good job, man. I'm like, where were you? Like, where are you at? That's fair. Anyway, like, we don't have a whole lot of time, but we wanted to just kind of drop in and be like, hey guys, like, if you haven't listened, go back and listen to the spring break one. We're gonna hit you up with content. Hopefully, Kim doesn't say what she said in the previous one because there was a couple of moments where we were like, eee.
There was like a solid like 3 minutes of laughter of just Jordan and I laughing.
Yeah. So that's gonna have to stay in the vault, unfortunately. But here's what we'd love for you to do. All right, so. Like I said, we're going to take just this week, we're chalking it up as a loss, but hey, at least you got like a solid 15 minutes of us, you know, and we're popping into your life and just saying, hey, we love you guys. So make sure that you go back, do a deep dive. If you haven't heard the spring break episode, by all means do it. Next week, we'll make sure we get all our stuff together, make sure there's no like technological snafus. But if you have stories or questions or suggestions for us, we would like to hear from you. Rate, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends and family. And then hit us up on social media or shoot us an email at greaseandgracepod@gmail.com. Sorry for the inconvenience, guys, but hey, these things happen, and at least you got to hear our voice this week.
Both of them.
You'll hear it a little bit more next week, we promise. But until then,
have a marvelous week.
Bye!